Let's move on now to the final main topic today. And our final main topic today comes to us from Aman Shaw, who writes, I'm wondering what is happening. I mean, a few days back, we were dying to watch something new about Endgame, and now suddenly Marvel is putting a new TV spot every day, that too with new shots. It's too overwhelming. I think they are overdoing it. What do you think about it? All right, thanks a lot for the question, man. And yeah, there has been a lot of marketing coming out for Avengers Endgame. As a matter of fact, a new report just came out that definitively lays it out that Avengers Endgame is now the most expensive marketing campaign in the history of Marvel. I still remember having debates with some people that Marvel's not going to put too much marketing into Endgame because they know they don't need to. It's going to make all the money in the world even without marketing. I'm like, come on. They're going to spend a lot of money on marketing. They're going to spend huge amounts on marketing. And having these debates with people that they weren't going to put a lot of money into marketing because they know they don't need to. And I'm like, absolutely they need to. Anyway, the reports are now coming out, and I believe the first one came out from Deadline, that Marvel has spent, get this, over $200 million. Over $200 million just on the marketing campaign for Avengers Endgame. That is far more money than most movies even cost to make in the first place. Far more than most movies even cost to make in the first place. That is crazy. But is it all that crazy? You know, there were still a lot of people that said back when Infinity War was coming out, oh, Marvel doesn't need to market that. And people keep forgetting. They don't need to market it for us 5%ers who are hardcore into this franchise. But they do need to market it for the people who are casually into the franchise and for those who are not. They have to. So when Infinity War is coming out, they spent over $150 million, which at the time was the most expensive marketing campaign they ever did. They spent over $150 million in marketing, and what was the result? It became a $2 billion film. There's your proof. There's your proof that tons of marketing is required and beneficial for a project like Avengers Infinity War. So it was really surprising to me with the fact that they spent more money than they ever had on marketing on Avengers Infinity War, and the result was the biggest box office movie they've ever had. And yet, coming in Endgame, there were still people saying, oh, they don't even need to market it. It's like, what part did you miss? They spent more money on marketing the last one than any other movie, and the result was the biggest box office of any movie they've ever had. Can you not see the correlation here? They're not going to market that much for Endgame because they don't need to. Yes, they do. And you know who else knew they did? Marvel knew they did, because now they spent over $200 million. And I'm going to tell you what, it is money well spent. Now, I will often criticize Hollywood, and that includes Marvel and Disney, for overspending on their movies, for letting their spending get out of control. Because as Hollywood has spent more and more on movies, guess where they get that money back from? By raising your ticket prices. That's how they get the money back. So I've been very critical of Hollywood, including Disney, Warner Brothers, Universal, all of them, for letting their spending on their movies get out of control. However, I will never criticize spending on marketing, because marketing is how you make your money. I mean, ultimately, how good the movie is will determine your long-term stuff, but your marketing is what gets everybody out in that first weekend, and that's where most of the movie makes its money, and that's where your positive word of mouth will come from that opening weekend, so you need as many people there as possible. I will never criticize studios for spending a lot on marketing, because marketing gets you results. Not 100% of the time, obviously. There are some examples of when it didn't. But for the most part, you make a lot more money when you market well, and you market big. And what's happening? Marvel has spent over $200 million on their marketing. They've set every advanced ticket sales record there is. Now, granted, yes, that comes with an asterisk that more people today use advanced ticket sales than ever before, and more people go to opening weekends than ever before. I understand that, but still, it did set the records for that. As a result of the most expensive marketing campaign in history. We are now getting into the final days before the movie's coming out, and they are now coming out, it seems like almost every day, with a new TV spot. But that's exactly what they did with Infinity War as well. And look at the results they had at Infinity War. So can we be critical of them for adopting the same strategy for Endgame? I don't think we can be critical of them at all. Spend big, spend wise, just blanket the market space with it. Now, as far as is it becoming overwhelming, I don't think so, because look, the reality is this. While they're putting out a hell of a lot of new spots and everything, the reality is we're not getting a lot of new footage. Like, most new spots are 90% footage we've already seen, 5% title screens, and maybe 5% new stuff. We're getting a couple of seconds of new stuff with each spot. It's not like, you remember The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where every new trailer and TV spot was all stuff we'd never seen before, where I can't remember the total number, but by the end of the marketing campaign for The Amazing Spider-Man 2, we ended up having about 40 minutes of the movie. Without exaggerating, it might have even been more than that. I can't remember exactly. But for argument's sake, let's say 40. It was like 40 minutes of the movie had been revealed just in the marketing. With this, I don't know that we've had 5 minutes revealed. Honestly, I don't know that we've even had 5. Despite the fact that they're putting out new TV spots every day, it just seems like every new TV spot is a recut of previous spots with something tiny new in the mix. So frankly, for me, I don't think it's been overwhelming at all. But even if it is, the proof is right there. They adopted this same strategy before, and the results was a $2 billion film. Of course they're going to adopt the same strategy, and of course they're going to even double down on it and go even harder with it with an over $200 million marketing budget. It's not a surprise. It's good strategy. It's going to pay for itself 10 times over. So, yeah, I think it's totally fine. And again, if they had been putting out new TV spots and it was all brand new footage and now we've seen 35 minutes of the film, maybe then I would agree with you and say, yeah, that's getting a little bit too much. But I think the way they've handled the spots, I personally think it's been perfectly okay. I still can't believe we get to say it. 1 week from today, guys, a whole ton of us will have seen the movie already. 1 week from today. And by the way, I want to let you guys know that on Sunday, I can't even remember what day that is. But next Sunday, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, the Sunday after Avengers Endgame opens, we are going to be doing probably the most anticipated video in this channel all year. It is, of course, going to be our open Avengers Endgame discussion video. We are doing that next Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Robert Meyer Burnett is going to be here in studio with me doing that. We're going to be talking all open discussion about Avengers Endgame. I've never had more people writing to me about an upcoming video we're doing. I've never had more people excited about a video we're doing. So that is going to happen at 12 p.m. And we'll probably go 4 or 5 hours with it. And then we'll do, probably 18 companion videos to go along with it. Sunday's going to be a busy day because we're going to have 4 or 5 hours of doing open spoiler discussion for Avengers Endgame. And then at 6 p.m., I'm going to watch Game of Thrones. And so at 7:30, me, Ann, and Kaori are then doing our post-Game of Thrones discussion. Pray for my voice that day. Please pray for my voice that day. It's going to be insane. But I cannot wait for that. It's going to be really exciting.